Before you invest a single euro in Dubai or Spain, let me tell you something most agents will never say. The lifestyle you buy is worth more than the property itself. And in these two places, that lifestyle couldn't be more different. It is difficult for the average person to afford a high lifestyle in Dubai. In Spain, however, anyone has the chance to access special amenities and places. But at the same time, some places remain exclusive. Let me show you how and why. I'm Izidor, a realtor in Spain, and my personal opinion is simple. Dubai is highly overrated. And if you don't understand how the system really works, you can lose a lot of money fast. Spain and Dubai are two completely different worlds. One is built on artificial luxury, extreme costs, and unpredictable legal protection. The other gives you nature, culture, clean air, European law, and real long-term value. In the next few minutes, I'll break down lifestyle, taxes, legal safety, and the kind of properties you can actually buy, so you can make a decision that protects both your quality of life and your investment. Lifestyle. Dubai's lifestyle. The glamour, the heat, and the hidden costs. Dubai sells a dream of luxury, adrenaline, and futuristic living, and on the surface, it delivers, of course. But behind the skyline and the indoor ski slopes lies a lifestyle that depends heavily on your wallet. Constant air conditioning and an environment where outdoor living is limited to a few months per year. In this section, we break down what life in Dubai really feels like for residents and investors. Dubai is the city where you can ski inside a mall in the morning, having sushi for lunch, and finish the day at rooftop pool with views over the desert, as long as your credit card keeps up. For at least 5 months a year, daytime temperatures sit around 40 to 45 degrees Celsius, with peaks close to 48, 49, and even 50 degrees. So, real outdoor life mostly means walking from one air conditioned box to another. A good 3-course dinner for two in a mid range restaurant will typically cost around 150 to 380 roughly, and a single beer in a bar often runs between 30 and 50 AED, which means 7 to 13 euro. So social life quickly turns into a high spend habit. The city is extremely safe on paper, yet at the same time ranks among the more polluted major cities worldwide, with PM 2.5 levels several times higher than the World Health Organization guidelines. A strange mix of spotless streets and dirty air according to AQ Air. Even on moderate days, PM 2.5 remains well above World Health Organization's safe levels. Living long-term in Dubai typically means ongoing exposure to higher air pollution relative to many European locations. Here, you can eat food from every country and party in places that look like a scientific movie set. But between the unwritten modest dress expectations, dependence on cars, and paper experience lifestyle, Dubai often feels less like a real city to live in and more like an incredible, well-designed theme park, but for adults. Okay, let's say you bought a really nice apartment for around 200,000 euro in Dubai. What would your day look like? Would you visit local attractions such as castles or cliffs maybe, or would you just walk around? Remember, you have to pay for entertainment, and the heat during the summer will kill you outside. The education in Dubai. Dubai offers many international schools with British, American, and IB curricula, but they come at a steep cost. High quality private schools commonly range between 10,000 euro and 20,000 euro plus per child per year. Let's check the travel and flight costs from and to Dubai. From Dubai, long distance travel is normal but expensive. Flights to Europe often run between 400 and 700 euro round trip, and even regional holidays can add up fast. Spain's lifestyle, a real culture, real nature, real quality of life. Spain offers a lifestyle that feels natural, human, and effortlessly rich. Clean air, Mediterranean weather, authentic food, walkable cities, and communities with real culture and personality. Here, life happens outdoors. Conversations start on the street, and everyday living comes with a warmth and freedom no artificial environment can replicate. In this section, we show why Spain's lifestyle isn't just attractive, it's a long-term advantage for residents and investors alike. Spain offers a completely different kind of luxury. Waking up to clean sea air, grabbing a coffee in a sunny plaza, and deciding whether today's entertainment will be a hike, a beach walk, or a paddle match. Most of it for free. The country's average annual temperature is around 15 degrees Celsius, with Mediterranean coastal areas in Malaga, Almeria or Granada enjoying between 18 and 20 degrees, which means you can live outside almost all year without melting. A good 3-course dinner for two in a mid-range restaurant costs about €50 on average, and a beer or glass of wine in a bar is typically in the range between 2 and 5 euro, so going out doesn't need a sea-level salary. Spain also enjoys significantly cleaner air than many big Gulf cities, and with 40 plus airports and a high-speed rail network, you can breakfast in Madrid and have dinner by the Mediterranean without owning a car. There is no dress code. People actually talk to strangers in the street. Bars and taco fiestas spill into plazas. And between cheap tapas, free concerts, and centuries-old architecture, Spain quietly delivers a lifestyle that feels less flashy than Dubai, but for many people far richer and more real. The education system in Spain. In Spain, especially in Andalusia and the Costa del Sol, good bilingual or international schools typically cost between 4,000 and 9,000 euro per year, making long-term family life far more affordable while maintaining solid academic standards. Plus, you also have access to free public schools, backed by strong educational standards and a long track record of successful academic outcomes. A big advantage for families planning long-term relocation or reducing annual living costs. Travel and flight costs from and to Spain. From Spain, especially Malaga Airport or AGP, flights across Europe are abundant and cheap, with typical round-trip fares of 50 to 200 euro depending on season, making weekend trips, spontaneous travel, and family visits significantly more accessible and affordable. Finance, expenses, and taxes. What your money really buys in Spain versus Dubai. Example costs and fees. Marbella, Costa del Sol, luxury, upper-end properties. For a medium to large apartment in Marbella, monthly utilities for electricity, water, gas, etc. typically cost between 100 and 250 euro per month. For villas or larger homes, especially with pool and garden, utility and upkeep costs rise. Of course, electricity bills can be between 200 and 500 euro per month or more, depending on air conditioning, pool pumps, garden irrigation, etc. Additional expected costs for detached houses or villas. With pool and garden maintenance, repairs due to sun or sea exposure in some coastal areas, possible security system maintenance, general upkeep, this can add several hundred euros per month, depending on size. Common maintenance like gardens, security, shared areas, cleaning, etc. In luxury developments or gated communities, this can range widely, commonly something between 300 to 1,200 euro per month, depending on size of the urbanization and services provided like pool, gym, concierge, gardens, and so on. Let's do the implication for investors and owners. A luxury home in Marbella may need budgeting of 300 to 1,500 euro per month in running costs for utilities plus community fees, maintenance, and other services, especially if it is a villa with gardens or pool or boat, or in gated complex. This affects net yield if used for rentals or short-term letting. But let's also check the example costs and fees in Dubai for mid to luxury segment. From recent data on Dubai, for standard to high-end apartments or villas, many sources quote that monthly utilities, electricity, water, cooling, internet, etc. can average at around 2000 AED per month, roughly something between 500 and 500 euro per month, depending on the exchange rate, especially due to heavy AC use and cooling needs. On top of utilities, many Dubai properties, especially luxury ones, have chiller fees. This is like a shared central AC, or additional service charges like community fees, security, maintenance, which tend to be high, often adding significantly to monthly outlay, upfront connection and activation costs when starting tenancy. In Dubai, you often need a refundable deposit plus connection fee for electricity and water. For apartments, around 2000 AED. For villas and townhouses, a bit higher, before utilities even start. And let's check also the implication for investors and homeowners in Dubai. Even though there may be tax or transfer cost advantages, an owner or tenant in a Dubai luxury property should expect something around 500 euro per month in utilities, plus service and maintenance fees as a base, and likely more when including cooling, AC, security, communal maintenance that has a significant impact on net returns, especially for rentals or seasonally vacant properties. Okay, let's do a quick summary comparison between the luxury segment in Marbella versus Dubai. Indicative running costs, region, property type, typical monthly utilities plus maintenance estimate. So what this means for you as an investor. If you're looking at Marbella and the Costa del Sol, the numbers work in your favor. Maintenance costs are predictable, utilities are moderate, and community fees stay within a stable range. That consistency is gold for foreign investors because it gives you higher net yield, lower operational expenses, and far fewer surprises over the long term. Dubai, on the other hand, demands much stronger rental performance just to stay profitable. High monthly utility bills, cooling fees, community charges, and unpredictable occupancy patterns mean your investment needs to work much harder to generate the same net return. For many investors, that turns a high yield promise into a high risk calculation. If profitability, stability, and long-term value matter to you, Marbella and the Costa del Sol provide a far more controlled, lower OPEX environment than Dubai. And that difference directly impacts your bottom line. Legal and law. Stability in Spain versus strict control in Dubai. When it comes to protecting your property, the legal system matters as much as the price you pay. Spain operates under a transparent EU law with strong ownership protection and predictable processes, giving investors long-term security. Dubai's system is fast and efficient, but heavily government-centric, with stricter rules and fewer guarantees for foreign owners when disputes arise. In this section, we compare both legal frameworks so you can see where your investment is truly safest. Dubai's legal system is efficient, strict, and designed to protect state stability first. For everyday life, this isn't bad, but it does mean that as a foreigner, you operate within a framework where the government holds strong authority and certain outcomes can feel unpredictable. Sharia principles still influence parts of civil law, and while property rights exist, they are not as absolute as in Western jurisdictions. In rare but documented cases, assets can be frozen or seized during disputes, visa issues, debt cases, or conflicts with authorities. You're expected to follow strict conduct rules in public, online, and even in private interactions. And the system generally assumes is correct unless you prove otherwise. For many expats, Dubai works perfectly until something goes wrong. Then the legal journey becomes very different from what Europeans expect. Spain operates under EU rule of law, where legal processes are transparent, predictable, and built on the principle of presumption of innocence. Property ownership is strongly protected. Once your name is registered in the land registry, the law shields you against third-party claims, forced confiscations, or administrative surprises. Disputes follow clear civil law procedures. Judges are independent, and the foreigners have the same property rights as Spanish citizens in Andalusia and the Costa del Sol. From buying to inheriting to selling, Spain follows European legal standards. Slower at times, more bureaucratic, but much safer from an investor's perspective. In simple terms, Dubai offers speed and authority. Spain offers stability and legal certainty. And for long-term property owners, that difference is worth its weight in gold. What property you can get? Real homes in Spain versus high-density living in Dubai. Your budget doesn't just buy square meters. It buys lifestyle, it buys the land, the community, and of course, long-term value. In Dubai, most buyers end up with modern apartments in large developments, while villas or signature homes require millionaire budgets. In Spain, especially in Andalusia and the Costa del Sol, the same investment can secure spacious villas, mountain homes with pools, charming renovation projects, or coastal properties full of character. This section shows exactly what your money can buy and why the difference matters. Dubai, what you actually get. Dubai delivers sleek towers, futuristic designs, and lifestyle marketing that looks incredible on paper. But the reality for most buyers is far more limited. With average budgets, you're looking at high-density apartments, artificial surroundings, and properties that rely on constant maintenance and climate control. In this section, we break down what you really get for your money in Dubai, beyond the brochures, the influencers, and the hype. In Dubai, the typical property for most buyers is a modern apartment in the 250 to 300,000 euro range, usually in large developments, towers, or high-density communities. That budget won't get you a villa, land, a house to renovate, or anything with historical charm, because none of that really exists, unless you enter the 3 to 20 million bracket. The luxury market is full of futuristic mansions on Pau Jumeirah and other artificial islands, some costing between 10 and 20 million and shown by YouTubers like Enes Yilmazev. But the question stays the same. What do you actually do all year in a place with no nature, no mountains, no old town, no organic community? Pau Jumeirah is visually stunning, but you're surrounded by imported sand, same style architecture, and a lifestyle built almost entirely indoors. And the truth is, Dubai has become a magnet for global Plan B characters, the controversial crypto kings, questionable politicians, tax fugitives, and offshore personalities who look for a place where questions aren't asked. For many people, that's not the community they want their family or long-term investment to be part of. Spain, what you actually get on the Costa del Sol and Andalusia. In Spain's Costa del Sol and Andalusia, your investment buys more than a property. It buys space, scenery, culture, and authentic Mediterranean lifestyle. With the same budget used for a high-rise apartment in Dubai, you can secure a villa with pool, a mountain home with land, or stylish coastal property full of charm and history. In this section, we show the real homes, real environments, and real value Spain offers, the kind you can't build on artificial islands. Spain, and especially the Costa del Sol, gives you a completely different real estate universe. With around 500,000 euro, you can buy a 4-bedroom mountain villa with a pool, sea views, and land. You can find charming rural houses, authentic Andalusian cortijos, beachfront apartments, city center signature homes in Malaga, or even renovation projects full of character, none of which exist in Dubai. Luxury properties also exist here, but they are surrounded by real culture, real food, walkable neighborhoods, music, art, and the kind of nature that doesn't come from a construction company. This is the region where people like Antonio Banderas, Penelope Cruz, Rafael Nadal, Picasso, and Javier Bardem were born. A place shaped by art, history, poetry, equality, Mediterranean lifestyle, and a sense of community that money can't manufacture. In Spain, you buy more than property. You buy a way of living that feels grounded, cultural, scenic, and human. And that's something Dubai, with all its shine, simply can't replicate. Okay, maybe I'm a little biased, I've lived in Spain for 8 years, and this place has shaped how I see life, community, and real value. But hey, after looking purely at the numbers, the taxes, the laws, the running costs, and the long term lifestyle, I confirmed one thing for myself: I'm in the right place, at the right time, with the right people. And what about you? Where do you want to be? If Spain feels like the better choice, the place with charm, culture, clean air, and a lifestyle Dubai simply can't replicate, then let me help you find your next investment starting from 400,000 euro or your new family home that feels alive, warm, and authentically European. When you're ready, I will find the property that matches your life, not just your budget. Drop me a line. Thank you for watching and see you next time.